Hey man, what's up? You told us your goals on Discord the other day, and I was like, some good goals. I wonder if I could make a little thing to maybe help. I was looking at your Leadify, and honestly, the aim rating is the only thing that's really holding you back. Your goals are easily attainable. I mean, realistically attainable, I should say, not easy. I mean, you still have to put in work, obviously, and that's the beauty of the game that we all love. Um, but I think if you just minorly improve your aim rating, because I guess that's the point of the Leadify, I think you'll get your goals no problem. So I just wanted to show you. Uh, so CS Stats, the workshop map. I don't know if you use it or not or anything. I'm not sure if you do or how you do, but something that's helped me a lot. Um, all right, well, let me just go over real quick what I did, and this helps me a lot. It's helped me. I only have done it for like 4 days, and I've noticed I do a lot better. So anyway, by default it's just armor. I put on hit armor in case I'm using different guns or whatever. I make sure near is selected off so that the bots are relatively far away. Because I mean, every time there's no real aim practice. If your bots are like this close to your face, it's like you'll be fine. So near mid and far head armor. To start out, honestly, I know we're in the Discord thing right now, and he's talking about the Deagle thing. But honestly, training with the Deagle helps it helps you play correctly, or basically use good mechanics is what I would say. Because, with an AK, you can just kind of be like, doing all kinds of like, I don't know where my first bullet really is, it doesn't really matter, the guy's gonna die. But a Deagle, it's kind of everywhere. So practicing your counter-strafing, that kind of stuff really matters with a Deagle. Every gun, really. But that's what I would focus on first, is really just... So let's give you like a drill to do. I mean, the time is whatever you can start with doing. Let's say you do it for, you can either go by bots, like I'm going to kill 30 bots this way, or time, I'm going to do this for 20, whatever you like to do. Just try to be honest with yourself for the next, give it a shot over 2 to 3 days, and just be objective with it and see how you do. Because it's not going to be easy. Like practice and training, like you should be like, oh man, your games are going to be probably a little worse that night and things like that. But anyway, so keep your crosshair as stable as possible, and then try to, without moving your mouse. So like, let's look at this guy down here. I'm going to try moving to the right and then counter strafe with my, I'm not touching my mouse. And then it's like, okay, I missed a little bit. And now in game, obviously, you just micro adjust and shoot. Okay, but you get the idea. I'm just trying to get as close as I possibly can and then shoot without changing my mouse. And again, realize I'm not warmed up at all, so don't be like, oh, this is fucking retarded, this is bad. But once you get better at it, you'll be closer and closer, and things like that. And you obviously want to do both directions as well. For this, I'm not really concerned about far. I mean, you can be. Honestly, a lot of times, personally, I kind of just jump in the middle because it's just faster. I just feel like, going around like that. And it helps your tracking too, which is a different matter. Also, that'll get annoying, so you can always lock this if you want to. Anyway, long story short, keep your crosshair stable, strafe. Okay, I missed. I wouldn't even shoot. My hand's not on my mouse. That probably would kill him. In the game, obviously, there'd be a little micro adjustment when you're moving and stuff like that. But you just want to get used to it. How good are my counter strafes, actually? And you want to do both directions. So, I like clearing like a cluster. I just go all the way over. Okay? And then I go the other way. Okay? And it's really, you just want to get really good at that. That's a huge thing. It really is super important, honestly. Another thing I like to do, which is really important, I've watched some of your demos. Put your crosshair on this guy's head, try to keep it there, and just strafe around. And then once you get good, you can add the counter strafe at the end, and then shoot him. I'm talking to you, so all my shit's kind of off, but basically, you want to be, this is going to help like when you're doing shit like this, and then you can stop and shoot real fast, okay? So like when you're clearing a corner, it's a more advanced technique to like pre-fire modes, where you're like, okay, there's going to be a guy right there, okay, so I'm going to have my crosshair right here. It's like, in game, I mean, it's great practice for pre-aiming, don't get me wrong, like, I use pre-fire myself, crossfire, X-fire, pre-fire maps on refrag, really good and helpful. However, in a game, people are like, oh, he's doing weird shit, as you know, like, just jumping around, like, whatever. So, being able to, like, keep your crosshair relatively stable while clearing something, and then counter-strafing. So, you'll see how I'm, like, turning. You can't see my key press, because I'm not that good of a streamer, but I'm just holding D. I'm not hitting W, S, or anything, it's just D. And now, conversely, it's just A. So, basically, being able to strafe around. And then the whole point of doing just one key like that is that you can easily counter-strafe. And meaning, obviously, you're accurate immediately and then shoot. So, I just fool around. It's more of a feel thing. Am I feeling good? What do I need to work on? Just doing that, getting used to it. When you start out, you might be kind of all over the place. That's normal. But try to keep it on. Your thing might be jumping all around the guy. Sensitivity might be something you have to talk about, or experiment with, but obviously, just get a sense you feel comfortable with and just stick with it for a little bit. Don't be like me. But... so those two different things, the counter strafing where you just go sideways, and remember to do both directions. Do both directions. You try to stop as close to the head as you can. Okay? As close to the head as you can. And then you'll do a little micro adjustment, and you'll kill the guy. Okay? But it's just to get your timing down. And then the other one, keep your head on, because I know your playstyle and all that's pretty aggressive sometimes, so I think your tracking should be pretty good. But just give it a shot, because most people tend to disregard that. So those two things shouldn't really take you that long. Really, like 2 minutes tops, and see how you do. And you'll know quickly if you need more work on it. To be more objective, personally, I like doing 250 minimum, 250 to 500 AK kills in with taps a day. Yeah, even though I hit the AK, maybe it's because of the tank. But I do this kind of stuff, and I'm not just sitting here doing this, you know, with just like wrist movement. Also, again, nears off. I don't just sit in one spot doing this because you would never do that in the game. In the game, you actually want to be moving, but it's important to realize when you're accurate and when you're not. Like, you don't want to be, you know, doing that kind of stuff. So just get used to like, hey, moving around, counter-strafing, ducking, moving, because that stuff actually wins you more fights than your aim itself. Like, if you can throw the fucking person's crosshair off just by like doing this and understanding when you're accurate and when you're not, that wins you more fights, because you'll see how awful, you know, like how much time you have, and they're like, and then you realize, because you play Counter-Strike a lot, you can just be like, alright, now I can take my time. I already broke their ankles, now I can do whatever. So, I do about, I'll just say it this way, I do 500 AK kills a day, and I mix up how much of those are, like, Counter-Strike tap kind of deal, and then the other half is kind of like, you know, like, real kind of gameplay stuff. I'm always trying to aim at the head and add that Counter-Strike mechanic in there. But this is way different than, you know, I'm just going for tap, oh, I missed. Oh no, you know, that kind of thing. And realize when you're in here too, your AK, every gun, but especially the AK, the bullets are never going to go exactly on the crosshair. So don't get discouraged if you're just like, what, this game? It's like, why is that not hit? There is inaccuracy even with a perfect counter-strike. But anyway, I do the taps, and I do like little bursts, okay? Little bursts. And if I don't kill him, I'm like, alright, I move on. Sometimes I'm like, no, I'm going to commit to this kill, just like in a real game, if I'm really thinking about it. Like, I'm not getting off the target until that target's dead. Other times I'm just kind of like going super fast. But the whole point is I'm very focused when I'm doing this, and I'm really focused on making my bullets accurate. I'm not focused on, like, all these, you could put SB cheat, show impacts 1, and see where your bullets are when you don't actually counter-strike or duck when you do it. It's just, first bullet accuracy is insanely important in Counter-Strike 2. Insanely important. So, I do about 500 of that, which is, it gets more tiring than you think. Take a break if you need it. I know this video is already dragging on, but it's just these little things that I think if you're consistent with, you're going to see a lot of improvement and be a lot happier and have a lot more fun in Counter-Strike. And the other one, these are personal preferences, but the AK is probably the most important one to absolutely practice. I like practicing the deagle because it kind of forces me to go, you know, to like take my time with my shots, realize distance. Like, that's getting pretty far away for standing shots, and I know that because I've done this a lot. Like all the way out there. It's not always going to actually hit them in the head if you're just standing here like this. It teaches you the time for the recoil reset of each individual gun. But you can get better with the deagle too. Every other gun, it feels, it's like a dream. Every other gun is like a dream when you go with the deagle and you're like, oh my god, I need to... So just practice the deagle to really teach you, I think, that calm kind of like patience. Because your aim and your gameplay, it does look a little nervous. I don't know if you could hear me over the game right now. Oh, did I have my desktop audio on this whole time? So now it's going to be all shitty and echoey? Anyway, try that kind of stuff, okay? So, counter-strafe. Remember to do both directions. Try to get your crosshair as close to the head as you can before you adjust your crosshair. Next one, not too long. Try to keep your crosshair on the head. Strafe around the guy. I'm using A right now. Now I'm using D. And then once you're comfortable with that kind of thing, you can add the counter-strafe click. But you really want to make sure you stop first and you don't just start spraying everywhere. And the other one is just straight up AK. 250 bots. Start with the taps. Okay? Again, it's just to teach you mouse control and those kind of things. Teach you actually how to tap, because you might be doing this. I'm trying to tap. What the fuck? What? It's just mechanics. Learning how to control the mouse, how much attention you have to have, all that. And then followed up with some, like, real kind of gameplay. But still, you're focused on, is my crosshair on the head first? And then you're learning recoil control and all that. No, just pull straight down, basically. You don't have to be like, da-da-da-da-da-da. Just pull straight down. Because you don't want to be spraying 30 bullets at a guy in a game. If they're fighting you and it takes 30 bullets, one of you's dead. Alright? Give those things a shot, and I promise you, if you're consistent with it, it's not going to take that long. If you're consistent with it over the next few days, though, you're definitely going to notice improvement, I think, if you're like every other human. Alright? Hope that helps. And then, for fun, warm up your wrist, man. Come on. Let's go. Do a little KZ action. Little KZ action. Alright, man. Hope this helps. Have a good day. Or happy Easter. And hopefully the audio isn't so bad, but anyway. GG. No re.